All right. Thank you. And like to call today's regular town council meeting for December the 17th to order. It is 3:01 p.m. And with that, can we get a roll call, please?
Council members Reeves.
Here.
McKee Cant.
Here.
Knight.
Here.
Vice Mayor Boltrip.
Here.
And Mayor Moeller.
Here.
All members are present.
And we had a closed session. Do we have anything to report out from our earlier closed session?
There's no reportable action.
All right. Thank you very much. So if we could all stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance, please. All right. Thank you. And can I get a motion to approve this afternoon's agenda?
Move adoption of the agenda.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Knight, a second by McKee Cant. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? That passes unanimously. Now we will move to any council member announcements. I see. Councilmember McKee Cant has one.
I'll go ahead and give a plug for CAL FIRE and Yountville Station 12 this evening, doing a toy drive at the North Pole. They have partnered with the wine train, which is a wonderful thing, and the Bee is also running late tonight to 8:30 to make sure that people can get to and from safely. Thank you.
Any other announcements? Seeing none, we'll move on to, we have one proclamation this evening, and I would like to ask the town manager to meet me at the podium. So I really like giving proclamations, but this is kind of one that's very special. So this proclamation is recognizing the Yountville town employees through paid holiday closure in 2024. Whereas during the August 6, 2024 Yountville Town Council meeting, the Town Council approved the closure of town offices to the public during the winter holiday break from December the 23rd to December 27th. And whereas the Town Council wishes to express gratitude and thanks for our town employees' hard work and dedication to the community throughout the year, and therefore we would like to provide paid holiday closure days for benefited town employees scheduled to work during the winter holiday break as a holiday thank you to our staff. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that I, Margie Moeller, Mayor, on behalf of the Town Council and our community, express our sincere appreciation to our town staff for their excellent work this year and their dedicated service to the residents of Yountville. And 1, the town will close town offices during its winter holiday break on December 23rd, the 26th, and 27th, in addition to the regularly scheduled holiday closure on December 24th and December 25th, 2024. And 2, the town will pay benefited employees scheduled to work on the additional days of December 26th, 23rd, 26th, and 27th, 2024, and benefited employees who must work during the winter holiday break, as determined by their department head, will receive pay for the holiday closure date in addition to pay for any hours worked. 4, the paid holiday closure days are not holidays, personal days, or vacation days, and do not vest with the employees receiving this benefit. And 5, last but not least, benefited employees scheduled to work during the town's winter holiday break shall use the paid holiday closure days only on December 23rd, 26th, and 27th, 2024. So on behalf of the whole town council to all of our staff, thank you very, very much. Happy holidays.
I haven't been to the podium before, but I feel like I need to say something. So first of all, thanks to all of you, and on behalf of the department heads and all of our dedicated employees, I know they really appreciate this. I mean, I think you did this last year as kind of a, let's call it a holiday gesture, and this year I know we agreed to continue it on, and I know the staff appreciated the heads up and had the time to make holiday plans. And it always seems a little hard, to keep town hall open, because truthfully, I will tell you, it's a time where rarely do we have people come into town hall. So it sort of meets, a lot of needs in terms of, our staff and their families and the ability to plan, but also, generally speaking, not a lot's going on at town hall. As was mentioned, we do have emergency crews always on call. You saw them working this last weekend. They'll always be there if we have storms or any other issues that arise. So this is just a nice gesture from you, because you do have, to me, the best staff in the state that's really keeping this town in the condition it does, and providing the programs and all the stuff that Yountville provides to its residents and visitors. So thank you again, and here's to next year.
Okay, well, let's see if we have any council comments. They might want to comment on this if they would like.
May I speak?
Yep, microphone, yeah.
Yes, I just wanted to thank the town staff for all their hard work, and particularly during this rainy season. Over the weekend, it was still dark when I heard them out clearing Hopper Creek, so most appreciated, because that's tough duty, so thank you. Yeah, but everyone does, in my view, a very spectacular job, so thank you.
All right, thank you very,
Thanks.
very much. All right. Now it's time for public comment that is on any topic that is not on tonight's agenda. If you'd like to come up and address the council, it's a good time to do that. Did we get any public comments submitted by the public before the meeting?
No public comment was received.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's move on then to our consent calendar. We have 6 items tonight. Before I ask if we can get a motion, do we have any public comment on our consent calendar this evening? See no public. Moving ahead. Okay, let's. Do we have a motion to approve tonight's consent calendar?
Move approval of the consent calendar.
I'll second.
Our voting will be on the screens. Yep.
You may do a voice vote.
But let's just change that to a voice vote. Thank you very much, Town Clerk. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? That our consent calendar passes unanimously. We do not have any guest presentations or public hearings. So let's move on to administrative items. We have 4. Our first one, item 11A, we're going to consider adopting a resolution approving the application to name Yountville Commons Hall, the multipurpose room located right next door at 6554 Yount Street, the Don and Sally Schmidt Hall. So, Town Manager, would you like to get us started?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. And I want to introduce Byron Hoffman, who's in the audience, who's the grandson of Don and Sally. And when I'm done, I'm sure he can add some remarks or answer any questions. As you all know, the town is preparing for the 60th anniversary of incorporation, which we'll celebrate on February 4th of 2025. And as a symbol of the Schmidt's contribution to the last 60 years of Yountville history, it seemed that the naming of the multipurpose room was a fitting tribute. Schmidt Hall, as we would call it at the Yountville Commons, will become a place for the community to gather and celebrate in future decades. And I think if, because we've been talking about interim uses, as we create the vision, I do think we will demonstrate over the next couple of years the demand for a room similar to the Commons Hall, or excuse me, the Community Hall over at the Community Center, which gets so much use. So it's going to be a really great opportunity to see how those facilities can complement each other. So if it was to be rebuilt, for those that asked the question about interim use, then yeah, we would continue to refer to a newer facility as Schmidt Hall. But if this facility is working, then we'll obviously keep it as long as it's doing that. Just a quick history. The Schmidts moved to Yountville in 1967. We were incorporated in 1965 when Don took a job, basically opening what was the marketplace, or the V Marketplace, or the I know it's had a few different names. Vintage 1870, I think, was the original name, which was really a shopping arcade I know we all miss. And Sally at that time created the Vintage Cafe, which is in the former Coquetta building, and then shortly after the Chutney Kitchen, which is in the Bottega space. And then in 1974, I think they started moving towards the French Laundry, and in 1978, the French Laundry opened, which obviously is one of the key destinations or things that the town is proud of. They ran that until 1994. Is that right, Byron? When Chef Keller took over, and obviously continues it to this day. But what also is, as I was reading the history, and I'll mention, Byron is I'm going to call you the producer of the Six California Kitchen cookbook. And when that was introduced to me, I read it more as a history book than a cookbook, and I learned a lot about the Schmidts, which there's a lot of great stories if you get that cookbook. And you can argue that Sally, and there's even a part about Poncha becoming the pioneers of California cuisine, and it's really a great book. But Don was equally accomplished in politics, and I think this is the story that less people know. And I know that some of you, I never met either of them, but I'm really interested to read about them and see their imprints. But Don was the mayor from 1972 to, I think, 1978, was on the council, got involved, and recruited Lawrence Halprin, who's a very famous landscape architect, to come and rewrite the town's general plan in 1973, which became the 75 plan, as I think it was, finally adopted, which in essence changed the town to what it was today. The original general plan, which I have on my desk that I've shared with different people, envisioned that the town would grow to 30,000 inhabitants. It looked at going all the way over to Silverado Trail and being a big municipality. And with Don's guidance and Lawrence Halprin's sort of, I think, appropriate level of design, they envisioned it as the rural, small-town charm that residents and visitors enjoy. But clearly, with people like Sally and Chef Keller and many others, we've evolved into what we are, which is like a best of both worlds, where we have this rural small town that is a literal worldwide destination. So I think no one, at least in the 60-year history of the town, deserves the recognition, in my view, as Sally and Don do. And I knew that a lot of you were part of the Legacy event, and I watched it on the video, and that was another, I think, really great testament, after they both passed. And I think keeping their story and their names alive is important. So, Byron, do you want to share anything else, or?
If you could just come up to the mic. I want to make sure the TV catches you, so just make that.
Am I close enough?
Yeah, just state your name, because there'll be people watching the video.
Absolutely. So my name is Byron Hoffman. I'm the grandson of Sally and Don Schmidt. Don't have anything prepared for today, but just want to say really thank you on behalf of them and just our family as a whole. Don and Sally were both incredibly selfless. So I think that they would be both honored and embarrassed by all this attention. I worked with Sally closely for 10 years in her cookbook, and, she was just always so focused on, doing something that was great for the community. It was never about her. Digging into the story even more, learned that was even more so the case with Don, my grandfather. When I knew him, it was, of course, many years after he was the mayor. I'd always heard about his time as mayor, but he was he was the maitre d' at the French Laundry. Like, that's how I knew him as a kid. But he loved Yountville and devoted so much of himself to the town, and would be, personally just like incredibly honored by this. So, as a grandson, it's amazing to see Sally's story just out there in the world. And of course I worked so hard on that for 10 plus years with her. But thank you for recognizing Don's story and his impact on Yountville. I really appreciate it, and the family really appreciates it.
Oh, great, and thanks for coming to Yountville.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you very much. Do we have any other public that would like to come up and address the council on this item that we have tonight?
Alan Tenscher. I was in this room for the 1992 general plan, and there was a certain amount of tension over which way the future of the town would go. And I recall fairly fondly that Don was singled out by the people in the audience looking for perspective, for guidance, and a steady hand at the tiller. And so that's a memory that I have, and a very fond one of Don. And I was new to the town. I'd only been here since '91. And to see that there was perspective and history there, and the town, helping the town make decisions which in hindsight looked very prescient. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you very, very much. That was nice to hear. Anybody else like to come up and address this item? Seeing none, I'll close public comment, kind of bring it back. Does the council have any questions, comments? Councilmember McKee Cant.
No questions, but it's a proud moment for the town to be able to look back in order to name a building and look forward at the same time. And just like this brings you closer to your memories of your family growing up here in the valley and just a little bit up the road. It reminds me of the joy that my mom and aunts would have coming up and having lunch at the Chutney Kitchen and stuff too. So it's nostalgic all the way around. I think it's a great idea and look forward to seeing that it moves forward. Thank you.
Councilmember Reeves.
I'm very much in support of this dedication, and I feel like both Don and Sally had a really big impact on the physical part of Yountville, but also on building community. That's where their specialty was. The people they gathered around them and the people they sent out into the world all made a difference, and in a way sort of carried on their legacy of care. Sally was a client of mine, and Don was a mentor to me when I was on the council over 30 years ago, and their perspective and their sort of positive push-through kind of energy is really indicative of what has created Yountville. And I think it's very fitting to have something that really allows us to gather and remember and reconnect with everyone in the form of this hall. It just makes it feel like we're respecting and celebrating them.
Councilmember Knight.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to also just say I agree that I support this resolution. I don't think there's more that can be said about the contributions that Don and Sally made to the community, and I have fond memories of visiting their restaurants, having meals at their restaurants with my family and my father, and so it's an honor to support this dedication and naming. Thank you.
And I just want to thank you again very much for coming and speaking about your grandparents. It's great to hear that, but I'm particularly excited because I think now we're beginning to tell our history, and there is so much rich history here in Yountville. And just by some simple names, on a building, inside on a hall, people will be asking who were Don and Sally Schmidt. And now we can tell their stories, and those stories and then can get passed on generation to generation. So I'm particularly excited about them being the first, but not the last, as we start to really build our history and letting everybody and sharing that with everybody. So have my full support on this as well. So I think maybe somebody would like to make a motion.
I'd like to move approval and adoption of resolution number 24-4331, approving the application to name the Yountville Commons Hall as the Don and Sally Schmidt Hall.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second, and we'll be using our buttons. So I think I know how we're going to go here.
That
So
item passes unanimously.
Thank you very much for that. Well,
Just
congratulations to Yountville.
Yeah, congratulations to the Schmidt-Hoffman. I know there's a lot of family members. But now that you voted, I did also want to remind everyone that we intend to have the February 4th celebration. We'll have a council meeting at 3. I think we intend to raise the Yountville flag at 4 o'clock in front of the building. And then the Schmidt Hall, now I can say, will be set up as kind of an exhibit of the 60-year history, including Councilmember Reeves had a good idea of bringing Don's rake back. I guess he used to rake the pebbles in front of the laundry every morning. And we have Sally's cutting board. And so we have some really great symbols. So if there's other things to contribute to the exhibit, one fun thing I don't think I mentioned to Byron is there's a portion of the cookbook that talks about big parties. So I know Sam's not here, but the caterer will be providing like Sally's recipes at the event. So it'll be for the whole community for all of 60 years. But I think with Schmidt Hall now we can have a theme that is more meaningful. So again, send that back, and hopefully all your family or whoever can join us on February 4th can be there to celebrate.
Great. Good. Yep. All right, let's move on. Our second administrative item, we're going to consider adopting a resolution reciting the facts of the consolidated general municipal election held on November the 5th, 2024, and declaring the results and such other matters as provided by law.
Okay, good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Before you is an item to declare the results from the November 5th election. There were 4 nominees in this cycle: Eric Knight, Robert Moore, Pam Reeves, and Joe Tagliabashi. The 2 highest vote getters were Eric Knight and Pam Reeves, our incumbents, and a total of 1,465 voters cast their ballots, which was voter turnout of 83%. So good job, Yountville. And aside from that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Do we have any questions from the council about who won the election? No, I guess not. Then I'm going to go straight to public comment. Do we have any public comment wondering who won the election? Seeing none, I'm going to bring it back to us to have any discussion, or I would be happy to entertain a motion. And maybe council members who have won the election would like to make the motion in the second. Just suggesting. Councilmember Knight.
Thank you. I move adoption of resolution number 24-4332, reciting the facts of the consolidated general municipal election held on November 5th, 2024, and declaring the result of such matters as provided by law.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Knight and a second by Reeves, and I just have to say I think this is going to be the fastest administrative item we've gotten through in this year. You have to vote. You have
That
to vote.
passes unanimously.
All right.
Thank you, Mayor
All
and
right.
Council.
Great. Now, administrative item C, we are going to administer, I'm not going to do it, but our town clerk department is, the oaths of office to our two newly passed and new elected council members. So I'll let
Thank you,
take
Mayor.
over the show.
Deputy Town Clerk Cami Noriega is going to administer the oaths so I can grab some quick photos. So if our newly appointed incumbent members would like to come down to the podium, we will go ahead and administer that oath.
And after the oath, should we move so in case people want some photos?
Over in front would
We can do that.
Okay.
I also, on that thought,
Sorry to make you squeeze.
everybody coordinated so well. I would like to get a group picture following the meeting really quickly if everybody is open for that.
Okay. All right.
Okay, please both raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Anne Reeves,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of California,
the Constitution of the State of California,
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Let's move to this.
Yeah,
We'll move to the side so they can take some photos.
Bring our mics down, maybe.
Well done. Congratulations.
Let me shimmy by. Here, let me just scoot the podium.
Just that?
Just you, and I'm going to do another picture after.
Okay.
And the chairs are taking half a panel away.
Much better. Yeah, there we go. No TV. You don't like the TV in there. And then you scoot the
Center of Yountville.
heart of the heart here. I'm going to take the lunch. Great. Okay. How about one? Uh-oh. Since everybody got the red memo.
All of us? I didn't know if you just wanted the mayor. Everybody.
Yeah, everybody,
I'm getting above the, Okay. Great.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Tell us what's what.
You.
Great.
I know. I don't know.
Good. Thank you. All right. Welcome. Welcome our council members back. All right. Now we are going to, yes. Oh, please. Great idea. Yes, please.
Thank you. I just wanted to express my gratitude to the residents of our community and also to our staff and the boards and commissions who support all the work that is done by this council. And I want to really express my appreciation and my respect for all the other members on the council dais here, because I think that these next 4 years will be very important in the life of Yountville and the sort of direction of Yountville, and I feel very lucky to be able to participate as a council member there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much. Also, want to thank the community for voting in this election. As our town clerk said, 83% of registered Yountville voters cast their ballots in this election. We were, I think, the second highest community in the valley, so it always reflects our strong commitment to participating in the electoral process in Yountville and involvement in the community decision-making in general. And so also want to thank and recognize Councilmember Reeves and Joe Tagliabashi and Robert Moore. Running for office, even in our small community, is not a faint-hearted activity. So I appreciate the fact that we went through a very a good process. And at the same time, I also want to thank our town clerk, Hillary Gady, for your help putting the election together, providing the information to all the candidates, and I appreciate that, as well as all the support from town staff. That all the work that you do for our community is important, and thank you. It's just a grateful heart for me that I appreciate the support of the community, and thank you for putting your trust in me for another 4 years. I'm looking forward to conversations with everyone in the future, and then just the dialoguing and talking about our vision and goals in the next 4 years. And I look forward to that conversation and time with everyone as we really, as Councilmember Reeves said, talk about programs and projects here that are important for building community in Yountville. So thank you.
Congratulations, and thanks for being willing to join us again. So have a good evening and celebrate great. All right. Also, let's go ahead and move on now to, we're going to conduct, this is administrative item 11D. We're going to conduct council discussion on the appointment of a council member to serve as our vice mayor. So I'm going to turn this back over to our town clerk.
Yes, Mayor and Council. Based on the Town Council Handbook, which was approved in 2023, the position of Vice Mayor will rotate on an annual basis based on seniority. And I can answer any other questions you may have, but it's a new process, and I can help you if you need anything else.
So what are you looking for tonight?
You're welcome to engage in a discussion and then make an appointment for who will serve in that capacity.
Okay, we'll make an appointment, and then you'd like a vote on that.
A vote, yes, please.
Okay, all right, there we go.
It should be mentioned, because I think you all know that based on seniority, the next up is Robin McKee. So we can reiterate the policy, but I think you all understand how it worked. I spoke to her. I know she doesn't intend to pass. She intends to accept that role. You do have the ability to pass if you choose to. But I think, based on your policy, that decision is in essence made for you. You just need to make a motion to support it and move so we can formalize it.
All right, thank you. Vice Mayor Tripp.
Well, I congratulate Robin on becoming vice mayor. And I just want to clarify, seniority has nothing to do with age. It's tenure. No, that was a joke. But it's been an honor to serve Yountville in all capacities. And so I wish you very good fortune in the upcoming year. And I also just want to acknowledge on this particular issue how seamless it has been, and to really thank Town Manager Ralston for his help in getting our handbook together so that it just becomes a seamless process. So thank you. That was a major step. Thank you.
Councilmember Reeves.
I'd like to move approval of Robin McKee Kent as our new vice mayor for Yountville.
All right, we have a motion by Reeves
I'll second.
and a second by Knight. All in favor? We're going to press buttons.
Do we need to take public comment on this item?
Oh, that's a great idea. Thank you for reminding me. Any public comment on selection of our vice mayor? Seeing none, it's time to vote.
And the appointment of vice mayor to Robin McKee has been voted unanimously.
All right, great. Thank you and congratulations. Would you like to have a few words?
You know me. No. I want to thank you for the confidence and thank the town residents for their support over the last 2 years. And I'm looking forward to learning and growing in this role as well. Want to wish you good health, Mayor, as I support
Thank you.
And I just want to also share this, the congratulations to both Councilmember Knight and Reeves. It actually was Councilmember Knight's forward-thinking actions that suggested that we add this rotation into our protocols and into our handbook. And, in bringing this forward without any drama to each of our councils. I think the longevity and the smoothness and the seamlessness that Councilmember Tripp suggested is a lot better and more supportive of all of us. And also, Councilmember Reeves, one of the changes that she made for this past election was bringing forward the idea that the town would cover the $800 fee for applicants to have their applications and their verbiage translated into Spanish. And I think that is very forward thinking as well, because not everybody in town might have that kind of a budget in their coffers to even throw their hat in the ring. And I'm glad that that was able to help Robert Moore, Joe Tagliabashi, Pam, and Eric. So it's that forward thinking movement that we all serve with and with great passion. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you and congratulations. Staff presentation and informational report. Town manager.
Yeah, we're going to start with the clerk's office.
Mayor and Council, we have Jason Bernard, our Information Technology Administrator. He's going to provide a brief overview of a new system that we will be unveiling.
Thank you very much. My name is Jason Bernard. I'm the Information Systems Administrator for the town of Yountville. I'm going to be presenting a little information about SeeClick Fix today. SeeClick Fix is a digital solution that empowers residents and visitors to report on issues, identify repair needs, share feedback, and ask questions of our local leaders. So SeeClick Fix can be accessed through our website and through an app on your iPhone or tablet or Android phone. If you look at the digital display above you, you will see that on our homepage, you will see that we have a SeeClick Fix button. In order to access SeeClick Fix, just click on the link and it will immediately take you to our map and submit request portal. Here you will see a two-dimensional map of the town of Yountville. Here we can create a new request or we can see current requests. This is a request that has already been closed, but we have purposely left it open for this demonstration. This is a request for mitts that needed to be refilled in Vineyard Park. So if you come over here, you can see in Vineyard Park, there is a request, and if you click on the request, it will open up and it will give you all of the details about this request. And you can see who is working the request from town staff. You can see when it was acknowledged, and if it were closed, you would be able to see how it was closed. In order to create a new request, just click on the new request button. From here, it will take you to a location center where you can enter a street address. So if we enter the street address for Town Hall, it will automatically populate and take us there. Or If you don't know the street address, you can clear that out, and you can also drag and drop on the map. This functionality is the exact same in a phone. You just use your finger instead of a cursor. So once we've confirmed our location, you click Confirm Location, and it will take you to the category page. And here is where you can select a category relating to your request. If you do not see a category that aligns with your request, please click Other. That will send you to the Add Photo page, and if you do not have a photo, it's okay. Go ahead and click No Photo. And here is where we enter the details about our request or information that we are seeking. Go ahead and fill out all of the fields, and please be as descriptive as possible, because that's how we can help you the most. So I'm just going to do this with test to get through here, and then we will confirm these details. And then this will take you to the Submit Request page. Here we get to choose if we want to submit as ourselves, and this will identify ourselves to town staff so that town staff can interact with us during our request, and we can get updated during the request. Or we can choose to hide our identity so that we can submit anonymously, or we can just submit as a guest. Then you just go ahead and select Next, and if we were to submit as a guest, it would submit directly from here. And if we wanted to submit as ourselves, it would take us to the next page where we would then sign into SeeClickFix, create an account. I am available for questions if anybody has any.
Yeah, and I just want to add, thank you, first of all. We've been working internally, I think, probably for 6 months to get to this point. We've been doing some sort of beta testing. This is the second layer of that. I know I shared this with some of you yesterday that we're working towards this. This is sort of second layer beta testing for the community now, have the opportunity to use it. I think we will make refinements. I have a lot of experience using this system. It's a very effective system. I will add that if you can take a picture on your phone, it really is useful, because a lot of times the crews are going out looking for something. It not only has a picture, but it shows GPS location of where exactly. So if it's a pothole or it's a tree down or those sorts of incidents, that there's that it really helps the staff. And then the last thing I'll say, which is to all of you, but to everyone, a lot of times, as you know, myself and department head gets calls and saying, hey, would you mind going to look at XYZ? I will then say, well, would you mind putting it in SeeClickFix? Because I think this is an effective way to make government more efficient, because if I have to call John and John has to call Jacob and Jacob has to go down and he's looking for something, and then we get back, sometimes we get in a merry-go-round of looking for things. And I also think, as you know, the squeaky wheel syndrome is a real thing. And I think by having the ability to use one system, we can then prioritize service requests. We'll always, of course, I always say glorified citizens, me included, but I have not wanted to use my authority to say, hey, do this, do that, and the other, because I think it really needs to come from the community. So this app or this tool provides that, and I will do my best as people call me and ask for things to encourage them to use this. And I would ask you to do the same with your constituents, because I know a lot of times you're getting calls similarly, and if you can encourage people to use their website, or better yet, download the app. I know that's hard for some people, but I think we're all pretty app proficient in today's world. This will help your staff and help us be more efficient, keeping the town in the condition that we all would like to see it. So thank you for your support, and recognize when I say that, I'm doing that out of, I guess, I'm not deflecting. I'm trying to make this, again, a more efficient system for the town. Thanks. And we can both answer any questions.
So, Jason, one of the big questions I always get, or concerns, when I try to, encourage residents to do new things like this, is like they don't want to give their name. Is this anonymous when they put this in? And how can I assure them that it's anonymous?
Yes. So as we saw, when you're clicking through, it gives you the ability to submit as an anonymous user or even as a guest. And if you're submitting as a guest, then it does not take any personally identifiable information from the submitter.
Okay. Maybe that will help me encourage them to SeeClickFix. So yes. I got it on my
the only caveat
my app here.
I want to add to that is, obviously we can't follow up with anonymous people, and in certain cases, the claim or the service request may not have merit. And, usually that requires an explanation. So if you're anonymous and you take a picture of something, we may go look at it and say, you know what, this isn't an issue, and they'll never know why. So that's a little bit of a gap when you talk to people. If they want follow-up, they have to put their information in the system.
Okay. We'll say. Vice Mayor Tripp.
I just want to congratulate Jason and the town. What a great system, and also a way of keeping track of what's coming in for efficiency. But and so my question was, where does it go first? Who's first on the firing line, so to speak?
I am.
Oh, okay.
I am, and other town staff. So it's an automated process.
Right.
And each category has an assignee, depending on where the category, which department the category falls under. But we oversee. We have multiple eyes on every category that comes.
So,
in.
like if I put in down tree, it would go to Public Works.
Yes.
Automatically,
Yes.
it's been assigned. Okay,
Yes.
that's even better.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I would also say, first of all, Jason is here for quality control. I don't want this to be, once the system gets running, I think
Yes.
you can get it, but I don't want him to be reviewing every service request. But you'll see also there are certain requests that ask you either to call the sheriff or call animal control, because certain things are not, our responsibility. So we're also trying to guide you depending on the requests. And this is always the most complicated thing, because you're trying to be general about kind of what, is it a nuisance? Is it a animal, whatever the drag down menu is. And that's where we can start to play with the experience and refine it. But you don't want every little thing to be listed, because then you have a drag down menu of 50 things, and people start to not use the system. So this is part of the balance, but I would tell you our partnership with the sheriff is critical in this, because a lot of things, to me, parking violations are a good example. This is where the sheriff needs to be involved. So we'll learn from this. This is why I'm kind of saying this is beta part 2. But those are the issues to be mindful of.
So if it is a parking issue that will go to the sheriff, do we still see Click Fix You? Or, because that's really hard for getting residents to call the sheriff.
So the sheriff has agreed to a 96-hour response time through Click Fix.
Okay.
So if it comes to us, then an issue will be forwarded to the sheriff, but they will not respond within 96 hours. If there is a deputy is required, they have a non-emergency number, and then always, if it is an emergency, we request that someone call 911.
Okay, we'll pass that on. Councilmember Knight.
Thank you. And thank you, Jason, too. Just a quick question, as you were talking about, if multiple residents see the issue, is there a like function or something that then would indicate to you that it's just another request, as compared to someone having to put in the same request again, or?
So yes, and the answer to that is it depends, because there are some categories that are private. So if you have a neighbor and several neighbors are complaining about something that's going on with that neighbor, those requests are going to be private, and so they will stack up. But if it is a public request, like say there's a down stop sign and 10 people report it, those requests will automatically compile into one request.
Okay, Vice Mayor McKee.
What's the difference between a guest and anonymous, since you're not having to sign in for either?
So if you sign in as if you submit as your user, you create an account, and if you want to send it anonymously, you can still be a user and send it anonymously, so it will withhold your information. Okay. And if you submit as a guest, you don't have to sign in.
So you have to sign in every time?
No. So if you let's say you have a scenario where you want to submit as you want to submit as yourself, because you want to create a request for mutt mitts to be filled at box 11, and you don't care if somebody knows. But you have an account, and you also want to use your account to submit a request that you want to be anonymous. You can then select that to be an anonymous submission, but still be signed in as your account. It will just not tell us who sent the request.
That makes sense, but it's the guest part, I guess, that I'm
The guest, you don't have to have an account at all. You don't have to be signed in.
Would
It
never
just
use that.
Yeah, if you have an account, you would just not use a guest account. A guest account would be probably for a visitor, someone who is on vacation in Yountville
That makes
and
sense,
there's a broken sidewalk or something, and they see a SeeClickFix QR code and wants to, be a good citizen.
Councilmember Reeves.
I just want to say that I did download this app today, and it took less than 10 minutes, so I feel like that's pretty successful. And and I think it will be very useful, especially with all the small kind of niggly things that people see, and they think, well, that shouldn't be that way. And now they have a way to say that shouldn't be that way. So I think it will be handy, and it might actually create more work, but might streamline the work. I'm not sure. But anyway, I think it's a great idea.
Okay, no more questions. So next.
Okay. So finance staff recently prepared and issued a request for proposal to retain a firm to develop a cost allocation plan for the town's repair and replacement funds. Reminder that we do have a couple of current job openings, so interested parties can view those on the Human Resources page of the Town of Yountville website, where you can also find SeeClickFix. We are also gearing up to work on mid-year budget review to determine if there are any budget adjustments for fiscal year 24-25 that need to be proposed to the Town Council. And lastly, once again, on behalf of staff, sincere thanks to the mayor and the Town Council for the holiday closure week. We are very appreciative of this generous winter break. So to reiterate the schedule, Town Hall will be closed Monday, December 23rd through Friday, December 27th, reopening on Monday, December 30th. Also in the week of December 30th, Town Hall will be closed on Wednesday, January 1st for New Year's Day. And we wish everyone happy holidays.
Thank you. Celia, we have a question for you.
Just a quick question, Celia, and I meant to ask earlier in the week. Will the auditor be coming back, or we missed him last time? I don't know that we need it, but I just wanted to ask.
We did not reschedule the auditor to come back, but if that is the desire of the Town Council, we can ask him to come back if
I'm good,
that's the
but I
consensus.
did want to ask. Okay, thank you.
Just a brief update from the Planning and Building Department. I wanted to make note that the Humboldt Mixed Use Project was continued from the December 10th ZDRB meeting while we continue to work with the applicant on a path forward, and we'll keep you updated on any progress that's made as we go.
Yeah, watch the meeting. Interesting.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for the opportunity to report. Again, I feel like it's deja vu from last time. We did have another storm. Hopefully we don't have this every time we have a council meeting. But the atmospheric river on Saturday was a strong storm, but it was a much shorter duration than the previous version. So we were able to manage it fairly easily. And it let me know if you had any issues or problems, or if we need to communicate about storms differently. Independent of the storm, PG&E is in town working on bolstering the town's electrical infrastructure, primarily for better service to the vet's home, but it will also result in better service to the town of Yountville PG&E customers. And finally, if you saw the article in the Sun about Rector Water Treatment Plant, we are working closely with Rector, the representatives from Calvet, so we are aware of the project. If you've toured our plant or that plant, you'll remember that most treatment plants, both water and sewer, have parallel systems within the plant. And so that particular project will rehabilitate one set and keep the other set active, so they will be providing water during the duration of the project. So they rehab one set of filters, and then they move to the other set, and the goal is to minimize or not have any interruptions. Once their project is bid and in place, we will have a better schedule. We don't have that yet, but we do work closely with them, and we are aware of that project. And with that, I'll hand it off to the town clerk.
Well, I have a question. So they don't have to depressurize the system for any of the filter changes, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So it should.
It's a good question, though. They still have a repair that they need to perform on their distribution line from the plant that will require depressurization. It's scheduled for sometime in January at this point, but it will only affect the Yountville out-of-town water customers.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm watching the numbers that the millions that they're spending up there and any effect it might have on our water capital project budget. We'll get to that once we have the numbers. So, Town Clerk.
Yeah, lastly, I want to thank everybody for making my last meeting before my maternity hiatus short. So that's a nice way to end. And want to reassure you that you will be in fantastic hands with Deputy Clerk Cami Noriega. And during meetings, you'll also have Jason Bernard in this seat. So I reassure you that everything will be seamless while I'm away. And thank you all for your support.
Feel free to watch.
I'm going to get
Please
baby on
don't.
board as early as possible. I've started reading Bardoc's policy
Oh,
handbook
gosh.
already, 2 young ones. So we will be tuning in. Thank you.
Well, I wish you well. I feel a little sorry for Johnny, who's going to be sitting there next to you or whatever. You're watching council meetings or reading Bardock. But I want to thank you for a great year. I want to thank all the department heads. This is our last meeting. We've, I think, really had a productive year. I want to also thank our town attorney, our community. Alan, you're a steady participant, but also I think it's been a great year, and I think there's a lot we've accomplished. Obviously, the school and the Commons is a focal point. We are continuing our outreach. We're going to have, as you know, we had our first dinner. We're going to have 2 more dinners. I've also talked to the staff, and we are intending to go back to the Park and Rec Advisory Group in January, Measure S at the end of January, and then ZDRB in February, so that we can just finally present the concepts to your advisory groups and get some specific feedback on things that are relevant to their purview. But preparing for that March meeting, where we, hope to be in a position where the council can look at, the concepts and provide some form of conceptual approval, so we can move forward. And meanwhile, celebrate the interim uses on February 4th, which will be great. And then, just in terms of looking ahead, and I'll try to do a more thorough preview of 25 at the first meeting in January. Celia mentioned the mid-year. You're accustomed to mid-year budgets. This is the first time you've been through a 2-year budget. We will start using the term mid-cycle as the actual annual budget that won't be part of a traditional budgeting project or cycle. So when you hear mid-cycle, that's going to probably be in June. Where the mid-year, I think we're looking at February. So understand the difference between those terms. And I also think we're going to layer in strategic planning and goal setting, and I'm saying, assuming we get through the Commons conceptual approval, but we'll play it 1 month at a time. And I think, we're already outlining 2025. So we have a similarly productive year, and it's been an honor to serve you as your town manager. So I'm grateful for the year, and happy holidays.
Town attorney, we never get to ask you. You have any final summary remarks for 2024 or visions for 2025?
It's been a great year.
Okay, good. We haven't had any lawsuits. I agree with that. So,
Yeah, so
thanks for
looking forward to next year.
Thanks for keeping us out of trouble. We always appreciate that. All right. So with that, we'll move on to council meeting reports. Councilmember Reeves.
At our last Climate Action Committee meeting for the county, we reviewed sort of a draft climate regional action and adaptation plan sort of in depth. And I feel like that's something that the council will need to keep in the back of their mind as we start talking about strategic planning, because the sort of the 2030 goal of being net zero carbon emissions is way past time to plan or do anything for. So they're looking at 2030, 2040, and 2045 as the sort of points of reference. But all of the actions are going to require all of the jurisdictions to really participate and move along in the ideas of conservation, sustainability, and adaptation, but also change behavior and change our attitude towards what it is to be the human part of the equation of the earth. So I think all of the research and the data and all of that stuff is finally going to become tangible to us in this next year, and I think it's going to have to be foremost in our thoughts about how we proceed as a council, as a community.
All right, thank you. Don't see any other lights. So yesterday, the Upper Valley Waste Management Agency met. Couple things. We had a presentation by our attorney, Gary Bell, who's also our attorney, and it was on the Levine Act, which is a act that regulates campaign donations, and the Upper Valley Waste Management asked staff and our attorney to bring back a policy that anybody who sat on the Upper Valley Waste Management Agency would not accept any campaign donations at all from our franchisees, so that'll be coming back. And also, I always like to congratulate Yountville when we scored the best on, as you've heard me talk about for many years, we have a Flip the Lid program that the company goes by together with the Upper Valley Waste Management staff and flips the lid and actually looks to see if we're putting the right stuff in the green can, the blue can, and not the wrong stuff in the brown can. And so they went through Calistoga, St. Helena, Yountville, and the county, and they actually did 90 audits in each one of those jurisdictions, and Yountville came out on top. We only had 5 customers who had 20% contamination or more. So in the green can, somebody was putting stuff in there that they shouldn't have. And in the garbage, 2 customers, and recycling, 2 customers. So we had 85 successful lid flips out of 90. And just for information, not to say that they were doing bad, they just have to improve to get to Yountville standards. The county had 81 out of 90 that were properly sorted, St. Helena 74 out of 90, and Calistoga 78. So just congratulations to Yountville, and keep it up. We're trying to get to 100%. So these will be ongoing. So if you have any questions, give me a call or read the label or give the company a call about what goes where. And I also attended flood control. Again, this will probably be the same discussion going on for a while. We had numerous discussions about approving easements for the next phase of the flood wall, and also numerous approvals for meeting with residents that did not want to accept our easement proposals, and going ahead and filing lawsuits so that we could encourage them to do that so we can put the flood wall in. So, and Vice Mayor McKee and I have NVTA tomorrow. We have the taxing authority, the regular NVTA, and now an emergency meeting, because it looks like they're needing some more money that they didn't expect. So with that, any other, don't see any more lights. So can I get a motion to adjourn to our Town Council study session, which will be at 1 o'clock on January the 7th, followed by, do we have a Town Council meeting after the study session? Well, and then we'll follow that with a town council meeting on January the 7th at 3 o'clock. So we can get a motion and a second to,
Mayor, did you want to just say what the study session was about?
yes, I will.
It's going to be the Legacy Trail and a discussion about the George Yount sculpture.
Okay, great. And so we have a two-hour schedule for that. So we have do we have a motion and a second to adjourn?
I move to adjourn, Mayor.
Okay, we have.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Vice Mayor, second by Council Member Tripp. And all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. Happy New Year, everybody. Let's get the holidays going. Thanks.